Okay, today I'm going to make a video showing you a coffee table that I'm building. This video is going to be in two parts. It'll be the first clip, which I'm going to describe the coffee table, and then the next clip will be the finished product. So the coffee table is going to be made of mahogany, stainless steel, and it's going to have a glass top to it. So here are the mahogany arches. There's two of them, and that's the main legs to the table. There's one right there, and the way I formed those up was I built this form out of plywood, and you can see I put packing tape on it, and there are 9 strips of mahogany in there, and I glued it up and clamped them. And then the next day took it off and cleaned all the surfaces up, cut them to lengths, to the right length. I'll set that on the bench. And right now I'm just finished sanding it and getting ready to stain it. The table's only going to have 4 wood parts to it, the 2 main arches and then these end supports. And there's a slot in there to receive the stainless. So I'll just kind of try to explain it real quick, and then the next clip you'll see it all together. But I wanted to make a video of this showing the wooden parts before I stained them. So I'm just finished sanding this one, and I'm going to have to radius the edge. So it's good. Well, you know what? I'll stop the camera so I can take and set this other one up and try to explain the table. Okay? Okay, I set the 2 arches up on the bench here. And those are going to be the main body of the coffee table, and on top is going to sit a 1/2 inch thick by 24 inch wide, 48 inch long piece of glass with a finished edge on it. And that's going to rest on the top, but then it's going to need something at the end to support it, and that's where these 2 supports come in. And there's a slot there where the stainless goes. Now that's out getting made, so I'm going to have a couple of stainless supports connecting the 2, so that's going to connect the 2 arches, and off of that I've got like a stainless wing that's going to hold this up to support the ends of the glass. There's 2 of them, so they're going to be something like this, and then it kind of hinges. This wing with this piece of mahogany hinges on the 1 inch stainless tube that connects the 2. But that alone is not going to keep this thing up, so that's why I'm going to use these turnbuckles, and they're going to be mounted on the inside. These are stainless steel turnbuckles, and it's going to hold it up. And so this table is unlike any other one that I built. This is more modern industrial. It's more of a modern industrial type of table. And that's why I thought the turnbuckles would look kind of cool there. And that way with the glass top you'll be able to look down and see all that. You'll see the turnbuckles holding this up. And that way you could adjust them to where this comes up and touches the glass and just supports it. So it's kind of I think it's kind of cool because it's a moving part. That's actually it functions and it has purpose to it. It's going to support this end. I know it's kind of hard to envision right now because it's not all together, but at the end of this video it's all going to be together. This is all going to be stained. It's going to have a finish on it. The stainless is being welded and polished right now, and I made these feet for it the other day. It's going to have stainless feet. I figured that'd be a good way to kind of cap off those feet, because anything wood like this, if you move it around a lot, all these edges are going to get they're going to get cracked and start getting blown out on the edges if you don't protect them. So that's what I'll put it on this one. That's what these feet are for. That way it'll protect those 4 edges, and I think it'll look pretty cool. So I'm going to stain it and put a satin varnish on it, and then it's going to have the stainless wings with these holding it up, and I'll have the glass top. So I figured I'd do a little video on it just to show you at this stage instead of showing you just at the very end, the finished product. So this will be the last clip, and in the next clip, this whole table will be finished. Okay? Okay, the coffee table's all done now, and I'm just going to walk around it and show you some of its features. It's made up of mahogany, stainless steel, and it has a glass top. And the two main arches, those are made up of 9 thin strips of mahogany that I glued together using West System, and I clamped them in place over that form that I built. And then there's 2 other pieces of mahogany, one at each end, and I cut a slot into it using a handsaw to receive the stainless wing. And then I stained the wood with an Interlux filler stain and applied a few coats of satin varnish over that. And then the stainless, I made templates of all these parts, and I took them over to my buddy, and he cut them out and welded them together. And the 2 main pieces that that connect the arches, it's this the 1-inch tube, and then there's a flange welded to the end that I screwed to the inside edge of the arch. Those are really the 2 main pieces that hold the arch together, and it's real sturdy with those flanges welded into place. And then there's these stainless wings. He ran them through the roller. I wanted to have an arc here, so ran those through the roller to give it a little bit of shape. And then on the ends, on both ends, there's like a saddle that he welded on, and that kind of pivots on that 1-inch tube. And then there's a couple of screws I drilled and tapped. There's a couple of screws back here kind of holding everything in place side to side. And then there are turnbuckles that hold this up. And the reason that I put those turnbuckles on in the design was I knew that the glass had to be supported on at 6 points, 2 in the center, and then it had to be supported on the ends. But for me to build something rigid that came off of here where everything had to line up perfectly, it was just a lot easier. Just the idea of the turnbuckle popped into my head, and I thought it'd be kind of neat because it's a moving part, and then what you do is you set the glass down on the arch, and then you just tighten these turnbuckles up until the support just touches the end. You level everything out, and then you could tighten these jam nuts here so the turnbuckle doesn't move. So it's a nice way of just leveling the table and having support, and it's all adjustable. So that's why I did that. And the stainless, my buddy polished it, and I didn't really like it. It was almost too much. Even though you could see that it's shiny here, I wanted to try to figure out how to put a satin finish on there. So I messed around with some real fine grit sandpaper on a DA and then some Scotch-Brite pads. And I was able to dull that down to give it a more even surface, because when it's polished, really highly polished, any little scratch or imperfection really stands out. And I thought it might be a little bit too shiny anyway, so I put that satin finish on there, and I'm real happy with it. It's a real even tone to it, and I like it. So it wasn't really that hard to do either. So I've always really wanted to build stuff like this on the side, so I had fun with the design. And I built this just to sell it, so I'm going to put it on a few sites on the computer and see if I could sell it. And then if it sells, I'll still have the picture of it, and then I could even maybe take orders on it. and then I can come up with some other designs. And the cool thing is, this, if I end up selling this to someone like out of state and I have to ship it, it'll all come apart. It's, even though it's really sturdy right now, it's I just have to back some screws out. This wing isn't connected to that pipe at all, so that just comes off. I could take everything apart and kind of bubble wrap it and then just ship it. And that's a 1/2-inch glass top, tempered glass top. So that'll do it. That'll do it for the mahogany, stainless steel, and glass coffee table. Okay?